So apparently we have some development in the Min HeeJin case, and as of right now, Hybe bought a PR agency in America. They represent Drake and Johnny Depp, so they have a high profile of people that they represent. I am really interested how they gonna handle this case, particularly in Hybe. And I was right in the other video where I said that I don't get how Hybe let HeeJin's made their own account and upload this threatening video, this ultimatum video about how they want Min HeeJin back as CEO. And apparently my dog is really talkative, so if you hear her, ignore it. She just wants attention. So yeah, apparently for years Hybe had in-house PR managers, and they could handle the things that involve the company. But as of right now, this case grew so much that the HeeJin's fans flooded the South Korean government with a lot of letters and according to them proof that that one of the HeeJin's members are treated incorrectly by the Adore CEO, current CEO, apparently. So there will be listenings and hearings in South Korea about this case. And in the meantime, HeeJin's mama's K-pop lecture reveals inner demons instead. Interesting title. I'm very much looking forward to this video, so let's go.
HeeJin's mama, Min HeeJin, snuck in another press conference, y'all. This time in the form of a so-called lecture at a Hyundai Card event. She was supposed to be talking about her role as a producer breaking the mold of K-pop, and it devolved into a very defensive type of press conference, essentially. The event was officially called the 2024 Hyundai Card Da Vinci Motel in Itaewon, and they had this sort of like a hipster concept because Hyundai Card is sort of like the cool generation's credit card in Korea. And they had a weekend of speakers of people who were thought leaders and people who were in the Korean cultural zeitgeist. And her selection of being a lecturer over there was quite controversial, but Hyundai Card didn't back down. And now when I look at it in this context that we're in, I honestly think that this was supposed to be her victory speech. We found out,
I mean, if we thought about it, she had multiple attempts or opportunities to make her victory speech in a lot of places, but it was never a success. So I don't get, maybe because publicity, even if it's bad or right, it's still publicity. But I don't get these big names like Hyundai to make this a thing. Like, I would have dropped her immediately from the guests list when the floodgates are opened about her.
that the April press conference essentially had already been in the works as more of an attack, but then she had to go on the defensive and an attack. And with this part of the media play campaign of her making this speech at the Hyundai Card, it almost felt like it was supposed to be her Liberation Day speech of being independent now, as having her own label outside of Hype with HeeJin's, but everything didn't go according to plan. And I don't even know if she uses Hyundai Card or not, but she sure was maxing out her cookie card that night. She was giving that cookie card a workout like she was looking for Girl Scouts.
Ay, 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 Girl Scouts. Oh, wow, wow.
So it felt very defensive. It felt like a press conference, but it was a bit hard to find the entire video. And at best, I was able to find the audio, which was fine because I don't know if I could have handled looking at her speak and talk for an hour and 45 minutes. And even just listening to her, I had to space it out over 3-4 days, because you listen to her straight from beginning to end with her little motor mouth, she will literally give you motion sickness and put a hex on you. So you have to be really,
I believe this totally,
aware of when you listen to her, because it just keeps assaulting your sanity. And to be fair, she did talk a little bit about what she was supposed to talk about in the lecture, because people came to listen to the topic of Min HeeJin's freestyle, a producer who breaks the formula of K-pop. Did she talk about that? Was it, insightful in some ways in the industry of K-pop? I would say maybe about 15% of it. But she essentially did another press conference. It was rambling, not coherent.
wow. The vibe is identical to the press conference. It's the same. Holy crap. It's different outfit, but the whole vibe, the cap is still there. Like, I think that is her thing now. Like, wow, the hand placement as well, like this almost pleading. I can see that. Like, please, I'm poor Min HeeJin. Like, wow, I am getting attacked because rightfully so. So yeah, wow. I didn't saw the whole press conference. I think who watched in a normal speed the whole thing is a really brave individual, and I hope their brain capacity is still working as well and in normal percentage. But I think I could not watch this either. Like, this looks identical to the press conference vibes.
It had so many tangents, so I'm going to try to compress it and organize it, and also give my thoughts about what agenda she was pushing. The problem with listening to somebody like Min HeeJin is that her agenda will get into you subliminally, and she will speak it in a way with a lot of rambling under the guise of she has no agenda. She didn't prepare for this talk. And in some ways, I do believe she didn't prepare. But in some ways, I know that she does prepare in her mind certain message points that she wants to get across to convince you of. And so by the end of this, you're probably, if you are susceptible to the power of suggestion in this kind of a way, feel like she made some points, and if you're totally just in the bucket of Min HeeJin, you might think like, oh, she seemed genuine and frank and honest again because she hits upon the sounds and the styles of somebody who is desperately telling the truth. And most
Like who
people
is
would
bleeding?
never believe that somebody could go that far with the emotive, desperate pleas to be believed if you were lying. So that's a cognitive dissonance that a lot of people don't want to handle. So they'll say, like, oh, she must be telling the truth. But we're here to actually listen and analyze what she said. And yeah, this Ajumma really gives lessons on lying. So she started this talk by sucking up to Apple as an advertiser, even though it was a Hyundai card event. So I don't know if she was thinking about using Cookie Pay to pay off some reporters and got some confused, but she was sucking up to Apple. She was sucking up to the CEO of Hyundai Card, and then she went on to suck up to the bunnies. So she knows. So that is strategic. That is somewhat somebody who knows how to give a speech like this. You're sucking up to all the power in the room and acknowledging them so that they can keep supporting you. And so but the bunnies was a half-assed attempt. She said that she went on about, oh, I wanted to make some green tote bags with the parachute fabric, but we couldn't afford the minimum order quantity. So hopefully when I can afford it, we're going to make these really cool tote bags for you bunnies. And this is a woman who says that she must run the business side of a door, can't even get a free tote bag out. Now we're at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and she still hasn't started her talk about K-pop. She's now talking about her appearance. She was justifying the hats. She said that I don't like dressing up or showing my face anywhere. She said she was traumatized by that press conference. Honey, that
War
press
flashbacks.
conference and the one that followed is probably one of the most expensive things that you bought. Many girls just dream
Probably.
about buying Birkin bags, but
Yeah.
you went ahead and bought some press conferences. And
Yeah.
now she's having buyer's remorse. Then she brings in God, saying God must be testing me, using the adversity of the press conference to get her over her traumatic fears. She blamed the reporters then for picking out weird pictures of crying. But girl, no, you gave all sorts of hideous crying face. And she says, like, I didn't even cry that much. Yeah, well, we did see the,
Oh, wow,
the
really?
dry Kleenex, but we did see the multiple attempts to show that you were crying, even though them Kleenexes could have been used like 3 or 4 times throughout the conference. Nothing got onto them. Then she also said, I don't really even swear that much. I didn't swear that much. I only swore once or twice. Now, this is something absolutely verifiable as her lying. She swore up and down that press conference. The media has already compiled a whole segment on it. She was swearing, but the audacity of that to then say, like, oh, I don't really like my appearance, that's why I wear hats, I don't want to be filmed, although she buys these expensive press conferences. Oh, I don't swear that much, I only swore once or twice in that press conference, although we already have it on tape that you
She think
swore more than a sailor.
we're
And
blind
then she said that she
or
got
deaf.
angry, and she said that she's a natural swearer. So she's like, oh, I don't swear that much, I didn't swear that much, but I got angry and I'm a
Okay, this is a callback for me in previous videos. Like, this is when media training is entering the chat. Like, seriously, like, I'm a natural swearer. Like, come on. No, you are a CEO for a new company which is in the hands of a really, really rich company. Like, what are we talking about? No wonder Hype bought an American PR industry specials. Like, come on, it's really much needed. as of right now. Probably I would done the same as them. Like, come on. And apparently, not just New Jean members needed the media training, but their CEO as well, their mama as well. Like, probably I would hope that a professional, as a professional such as Min HeeJin in her area, like for design and creative, I don't know what she did in SM, whatever, but she did it more than 14, 18 years maybe, like, and let's be real, I'm 100%, no, maybe 80% sure, like, she was in the camera's focus before, like, she was camera ready, like, all the time, but she made a choice, like, no, I'm not going to dress up, like, come on. And she's still dressing up in a really, really expensive clothing, and what's the result? Everyone is making fun of her and everyone is buying up the stuff that she wore. So in one hand, she made a marketing choice that was a good choice, but still, like, she's not profiting out of it. Like, on the other hand, she made fun of her, and nobody is taking her seriously at this point.
Natural swearer. Okay, we're still not into the whole K-pop. We're still into just her. And she's trying to now justify her swearing as a coping mechanism for her mental health problems. She says that she has had a lot of stress, and she's like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to nighttime entertainment establishments, as if that's the only way to relieve stress. So she's saying that she swears to relieve stress. But why does your mind only go to...
Okay, but don't do it in a public space, like in front of the camera, when everyone is listening to you and watching you, and you have to be representing something or someone, like yourself, for example. Like, really, this is the light that she wants to be perceived in. Like, I don't know, I think she has lost her way long before this. Like, I don't even know how she made the deal to jump in Hive, like, and this is only speculations, but I've heard stuff like Bang Si-hyuk had intimate thoughts or relationship with Min HeeJin. This is not confirmed, this is not true, like, this is not alleged, like, this is allegedly, like, so... Are you calmer? My dog is calmed down. I think she's going to go to sleep. Yeah, she is right there. Yeah. She making an earthquake in my bed.
to that, like drinking, smoking, going to nighttime establishments. She's used this train of thought multiple times as a justification for what she does and how she doesn't do it. So now that she's protesting so much, saying like, I don't do that, it makes me wonder if she really does do that. Because if your grandma comes and always says, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to night.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I think she would be way balanced, way more balanced as a person if she is did all of that what she denied. Like if you only swear and you swear in front of the camera, like I want to hear the new jeans members testimonies, like what they experienced in terms of Min HeeJin swearing in closed doors, behind closed doors. Because if it's true, it's okay, but once again, media training. Like you are a industry professional in your area of expertise. Like I can't proceed, like how, why, when, all of the questions, like come on. Maybe if she in my language, Hungarian, there is a saying. It's not a really nice saying about these types of women, but in English it's a little bit softer. But basically, I think that what she really needs is a really nice hookup. Let's just say it like that. Because even if we feminists, like we protecting the rights of the women and we don't talk about badly about women, still there is a moment when you just please find someone and do the deeds, like in a good one, and maybe you're going to walk up and see the world in a different colors, like in a whole different light, like it's going to be clearer, you know. So I don't want to say it in Hungarian, but it's in my it's on the tip of my tongue, to be honest.
Nightclubs to relieve stress, you'd be like, Grandma, why are you talking about that? Like, well, now that you say it, do you? Because that's not something you have to continuously say you don't do if you don't really do it. Now we're at minute 6:45. Still no talk about K-pop. She goes actually into her panic order diagnosis to explain the swearing. And so she said, 13 years ago, I had a racing heartbeat. I went to the hospital to figure out what was wrong with me, did tons of tests, and then she says I did them with a cardiologist at Severance Hospital. So she's name dropping hospital.
We're doing 15
brands.
minutes.
So sort of like saying like I went to Cedars-Sinai to get the test. And then she said she got a psych referral, and then the psychiatrist diagnosed panic attacks. And then she says, I usually take Xanax, but then I really don't. So then she kind of dropped how like she has Xanax. So I don't know, like is she trying to say she's not dependent on Xanax? And then again, it kind of makes it you think like, well, why are you bringing that up and saying you don't have a problem, when if you really didn't have a problem, you're not going to say that you don't have a problem.
Because she is denying the truth.
She does this a lot, like I do this, but no, I don't.
Maybe.
Like, she contradicts herself with not really that much of a time lag. And then she says like, oh, I'm going to have to probably sell my house, I'll have to probably sell my house. So we'll get into that later. Then she said that the doctor and her talked about like how to relieve stress. And she says like, I don't go drinking, I don't go smoking, I don't go dancing, as if those are the only things to relieve
go to dance
stress. Like maybe she can try, knitting some hats and killing two birds with one stone. And maybe even Sakura can help you with some knitting patterns and yarn and recommendations on which gauges or sizes of the knitting needles to use for whatever kind of things. I mean, she is saying that because she doesn't drink, smoke, or go to nighttime establishments, she and her doctor figured out that she should swear in order to relieve her stress.
Once again, not in
And,
front of the
even
cameras.
diagnosis, like calling it stress. A lot of times people will just say it's stress when really it's other things. Like there's a whole litany of things that.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this information, but I have a degree on communication, and my major is communication. My minor is social media management. So I know a little bit about this stuff. I have a degree about it, but yeah, what I'm saying is take with a grain of salt, to be honest, because I don't know the details of the stuffs. Like you can analyze a whole case without knowing the details, minor details about stuff, but eventually it's just speculating. So yeah, I should write in the title that communication expert is reacting, or social media manager is reacting, something like that, maybe. And honestly, it wouldn't be a lie, because I have the papers about it, so it's not clickbait. Apparently, I stopped the recording, but I've seen a little bit what has happened. Yeah, I commented that I don't think that she said that about Bang Siak, that in his face, that he is a pig, but I talked about that my mother also have panic disorders, and she can handle the effects of the illness with ease, without doctors, and that I don't like that she's talking her medical stuff out of the open in front of the general public, because this technique is used for the sympathy of the people, but in her position as of right now, it's not a good tactic in my opinion, because she already has a negative thought process attached to her name inside of the people. So I don't think that she should use this card in front of the people, because it's not gonna work. And she said a lot of insane things and out of the box things, and her behavior in front of the camera is really weird and not rehearsed as it should be, as a person in her position as a ex-CEO, as a person in leading position. She should know how important that if someone is standing in front of the camera, how they should present themselves in order to achieve the accepted reaction of the public, especially once again how she is perceived is really negative. So in this case, bad publication or good publication is just publication. I don't think this is applied of this case, because she get publication, but I don't know what the hired PR company is gonna do about this case until she is out of the hype board of directors until, I guess, we're gonna see.
Going into like why she's so upfront, because she was always born a bit of a rebel and she likes pouring cold water on people who are fronting. It's a habit. And she says, don't worry, I'm not going to swear today. I have nothing to swear about. But then of course later on she does. And so these stressors are not the source of your panic disorder. I think really it's panicking over not being able to remember all the lies and put them in order and in sequence. And maybe if she did take up knitting, she could try to imagine and physicalize her lies being knitted into something probably concrete that
by the way, I'm going to watch this video until
disorder is coming from not being able to remember
21.
all of her lies. Then she goes on for 2 more minutes talking about DMs, social media,
not 15,
checking up on her, how she loves, being thought about in that way, turning down so many book offers, teaching offers because she's not interested in the money. Also, book offers, teaching offers, honey, those things are not about money. Those are meant to raise your profile. Anyhow, minute 12, still no mention of the K-pop industry. She goes now on into her interpersonal relationships and how she wishes everyone would come with a manual. If you haven't caught on to the red flags of narcissistic personality disorder, this is just laid out here. Very good revelation of her pathology. She couches it in the sense of interpersonal conflicts and dynamics about how everybody has different temperaments and they have different triggers and things that may create conflict. That sounds right. And then she wishes that everybody would come with a manual so that you would know how to not get into arguments. However, the way it reads and
it should apply
very much
for her as well.
Congruent with a narcissistic personality disorders, that you want to be able to know how to manipulate and control people, and it would be much easier if you had a manual. You wouldn't be making as many mistakes. You wouldn't be misreading as much. I think that is more the source of this stress and interpersonal conflicts. It's not because you don't have a manual on somebody else's personality. Nobody has a manual on other people's personalities. Perhaps the conflict is when somebody realizes that you're trying to steal from them, you're trying to destroy their life's work, and you're trying to sabotage and then make them look like the bad person. You're gonna have a bit of conflict personally, manual or no manual. We're at minute 14 now, and finally she's sort of starting to talk about the topic of the talk, about her being a producer. So she says that she transitioned from being a designer, like a graphic designer, into a producer of K-pop. Okay, good. This is what we came here for. This was a really long ramp up. And then she starts with her childhood. Okay, fine. That's really what minute 1 to 14, or maybe like minute 1 to 4 should have been. So she talks about her childhood, her origin story. And then she says, I don't even really like K-pop or popular music. She was a cultural outlier. Oh, she's so special. Okay, fine. And she did say why she didn't like pop music. She said that pop music didn't give her a feeling. Okay, well, it certainly gives a lot of other people feelings, but to be fair, in the way that she wanted to innovate and revolutionize, she said it didn't give her any feelings, and so instead she watched TV a lot. This
I would say in her place that not giving feelings, not giving stimulation. I would use the word stimulation because this is the wording of this. Like it's not giving feelings, it's giving sociopath. It's giving that. So And she said earlier that she wished that everyone is came with a manual. So yeah, it's giving master manipulator sociopath at this point for me.
This, I think, is very important insight into her and her evolution as a K-pop producer, the way that she did it very visually. She didn't love the music. She's not a music person. She never really even came from that world. She gravitated towards television. Music had no feelings for her. Television.
Wow. Okay, it's kind of building up inside my head. Like, yeah, it's a lot of sociopaths, tendencies in this sentence. This is a really big giveaway. If not one type of music gives you feelings, and you have to replicate others' feelings and facial features for mirror the emotions, it's really much giving sociopaths. Okay, everyone is interrupting me. What the hell? What is happening? Okay, so continue.
Captured her attention. And then she grabbed onto graphic design from Photoshop. So she's definitely a visual person in the music industry, even though music industry based on sound. But we can see how I'm making her lecture sound so much better than she did. But we can see how she evolved into the type of producer that K-pop needed at the moment where she was there to handle the visual product that goes along with the music.
Okay, but we can argue that she gave a new color in the industry by creative design of to our eyes, I should say, but eventually it's still about music. It should be about music, and there is a lot of talk about what is K-pop, what it should be, and K-pop is a package that we know. It's about visuals, is about the idols, as the K-pop industry is like to say, it's a product. But as we know, in this current age, we don't say that idols are products, they are humans. So she did something, I give her that, because HeeJin's is blow up. So, but the idea that she is not connected to sound, to music in this industry where music is crucial. I mean, a lot of people that I watch in YouTube and who are fans of HeeJin's, they say they fell in love with the music, not with the visual. The visual is a secondary thing, in my opinion. I mean, it should be. It's about the feelings that our music gives you. The visuals also important, but I don't know. It's so polarizing for me, her character, especially in this aspect. Like she does not listen to music eventually, or the popular music is not capturing her interest, I should say. But if she in the industry of these specific things that surrounds it, like music, sounds, popular things, you get it, like you have to have an interest, at least in a marketing or PR standpoints. But she telling this story, I mean, I get this idea throughout, as he explains it, like she doesn't give a F about this, and she just had a passion in art and design, like, you know that meme. So it's really alarming to me. A lot of my friends and even family members are gone throughout the years, especially in COVID times, in a lot of stuff, in negative ways. And when they tell me that what they do in order to be in a better place mentally, I always told them that I ask them always that they are listening any music, any kind of music, something. And a lot of them said that not really, or I should, or they not finding the meaning of what I'm trying to say to them, like why music is so important. Music is so important to the human beings, and not even just human beings, for a lot of animals as well. It's so refreshing to hear sounds. When the question is that you rather be blind or rather be deaf, I would say I would be blind, to be honest. I would suffer as hell, that's for sure, because I was born with bad eyes, like I have a condition with my eyes, and in the last 2 or 3 years I see, or rather I recognized how my vision is getting worse and worse. And I hope I knock it down, like I hope I'm not going to get blind in a short future. Like I don't want to get blind, but I think the sounds to hear someone, I would suffer a lot more if I don't have my hearing. But so music is really important to me in a nutshell.
Another important thing that she mentioned was that she was studying graphic design and doing stuff more like typography rather than drawing. She said she couldn't draw for art school. And so that shows from an early age, she's not the artist. She's more of the producer. She said then she was stuck, in the middle of an analog and digital generation. I know, we're the same age. Boo-hoo. Nobody's giving us any awards for that. Trust. Gotta go. Gotta pick a side. You either gotta be like, oh, I can't do anything like this because I'm too old for this technology. Or you gotta get in with the Gen Z and just look over their shoulder and figure out what buttons are pushing. But I think her point was, she said that it was difficult to listen to music at that time. True, because you either had to pay for it or listen to it on the radio. And then she said she relied on the radio. She recorded songs she liked on blank cassette tapes. I thought she didn't like music, but she made the effort to press record on that tape recorder. And then when Napster came out, which was essentially kind of like the free version,
I guess it's just
Spotify, people just
popular music.
That was a gold mine bonanza illegal era where people were just downloading music and not paying for it. And so she said that that's when her world kind of opened in terms of music. She was able to, because you don't have to pay for it, you're able to just source all these types of different, sample a bunch of music. And so that, I think, is an important description of how she evolved in terms of like getting familiar with the music industry. Then she talked about actually buying CDs. She said, like, buying CDs back then were expensive. Yeah, it is expensive. It was 10,000 to 15,000 won. You guys all remember, like $10 to $15. And she protected her CD jewel cases like they were so precious. Then at minute 17, she gets a little bit creepy. She said that there was a male teacher in middle school she really liked, a history teacher, and she agonized over whether to give a gift of a CD to him. So now we're getting into the whole kind of origin stories of the inspiration for Cookie. Supposedly it was about burning CD mixtapes for your friends. But here she wanted to give a gift of a CD to this older adult male teacher. I guess you could do this, and maybe it's okay, especially if it's the holidays maybe, but it didn't seem like that at all. It was more about like she wanted to really give this gift, and she said that this was so precious to me. To him it wasn't really, that much. I hope it was just a CD as a cookie, because it's being coded as like she's having a therapy session. So then she said that, she listened to CDs from beginning to end, even though she said she didn't like pop music. And then she was obsessively reading the CD booklets without trying to wear it down. She even had like a little pouch she made to carry the CD jewel case. So I don't know, which is it? You liked it or didn't like it? If you didn't like it, you don't listen to it from beginning to end. Minute 19, she talked about going into SM entertainment, and she boasted about how irreverent she was, yet respectful. And she said, like, I went into that interview saying, like, I don't like pop music.
Okay, so we will stop here for part 1. And I think this is the point where she's gonna be way more interesting, like in terms of what she's about to say, because this was boring as hell. And the teacher story is, if this is the origin story of the song Cookie, yeah.